A few comments and the pledge by Commissioner Morrow and followed by me with the invocation. Please rise.
Tomorrow is Veterans Day, which gives us a chance to honor all of our veterans. I'd like to invite you all to City Park at 4 o'clock for that. I am the veteran here on the front here, and I represent them. And thank you for all the service of veterans in the audience and your spouses. They often overlook. So please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in prayer. Father, we're here today to ask for your blessings and guidance in our performance of duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented. Make our solutions fair and just to the best interest of everyone. Help us to overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of the city and its people. We pray in your name. Amen. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I move that we amend the agenda and add item number 18, and I quote, consider approval of property lease agreement with the Griffin Spalding County Airport Authority for the triangular 156 square foot parcel for sign placement.
We have a motion from Mr. Morrow to approve the agenda with the amendment. Do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Todd made a second. Any questions, discussion or changes? All in favor, please raise your hand. 7-0. Thank you. All right, begin with presentations, delegations. We're going to recognize Jason Crane, Lead Engineering Technician with the Electric Department, as the October 2015 Strongest Link Award recipient. Electric Department Bill Bosch will address. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everybody. I got my Luther voice tonight, so down a few octaves, but we are so thrilled to be up here tonight for the Strongest Link. I don't know how many of you know Jason. He's a fixture in the community. He's been with us for 11 years, came here in 2004. In that short time, he's come up through the ranks as far as groundman, apprentice lineman, and now he's actually in our technical services department. He's been there for just a year come October and is already far exceeding everything that we could ever hope for. In 35 years in this business, you have a few people that you work with that you just know are going to excel in the years to come. And I'll tell you right now, I think Jason will be managing his own business in less than 10 years. So that's how special this man is, and I want to thank him and present him with the Strongest Link of the Chain Award. And we need his chain. Oh.
Mr. Bice.
He said he's good.
I'd like to say something personal. For those who don't know, building I own has a new tenant, and they needed some 480 power, which I'm sure the city's happy to sell them. But this was a big deal to get a transformer and supply that building 480 power. Jason came out, took charge, did it instead of we can make it happen or this and this and this. Boy, bang, 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 it was done. The tenant moved in. Big machinery, 480 power. My hat's off. Great job. Thank you very much. They were impressed. They come from Chicago and couldn't believe government did this so quickly.
The safety is his number one, but the customer service is just as important to him. And I wish he didn't have his hat on tonight because he could have done his Donald Trump imitation, but...
My God.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate Bill and all your department's hard work and commitment to the citizens of Griffin. Next item is to recognize the 2015 Leadership Development. Excuse me. Item 2 is recognize the 2015 Leadership Development Institute graduates, Human Resources Director Niles Neville and Fire Chief Tommy Jones will address. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome.
Good evening. We're here again for the 7th year. Excited to be here. We had a great group this year. I must say this was the most participative group we've ever had. Did I say that right? If it's not a word, it is now. It's a Milesism. We had a great year. We made a few changes this year, which we try to do every year to do things a little differently, bring in some new speakers. But this year we, of course, we had our team building the first week, and then we had personality and leadership profiles. We did financial wealth, building financial wealth, human resources approach to leadership. You can deal with the boss from hell, which was a great one. We don't have any of those, but if we did, they're prepared. We had managing marginal employees, understanding the generational gap, success principles, which Tommy did, and we had a new one this year, peer yesterday, leader today. It was put on by Southern Crescent Technical College. They did an amazing job. So we had a wonderful time. We hope they did. Once I finish my presentation, or once I finish bringing them up, does anybody want to say anything? You're not under any obligation. Okay, I know Wally Brown does, but I'm not going to let him. You're out of this, Wally. I know you like to talk. All right. Without further ado, when you get your major award, because it's almost Christmas, when you get your major award, just come up here and make a semicircle so we can take lots of pictures. All right. Excuse me while I put on my glasses so I can read. All right. First up, we have Michael Natal, Police Department. Adrian Foster, Fire Department. Thank you. Brian Michael, Fire Department. Is Rescue Randy here? No, Rescue Randy is not here. We have Randy Harris, Fire Department. He's not here tonight. Jeffrey Mahaffey, Fire Department. He could not make it tonight. Patricia Hughes, I know, is here. I saw her, Customer Service. Dominic Riley, Solid Waste. Miss Teresa Watson in the City Manager's office. Jeremy Kenway, Stormwater. Tracy Pryor, Planning and Development. There's Miss Carla Brown, Planning and Development, or Building Inspections. Mr. Gibb Cotton keeps our computers running, Information Technology. Mr. Chris Sprayberry keeps our computers running, Information Technology. Wally Brown, Water and Wastewater. Matt Jones, I don't see Matt, and I couldn't miss him because he's like 6'8", 300 pounds. He is a big lineman. Brad Wilson, Water. Wanda Smallwood, Board of Elections. Nope, not here tonight. Maybe this wasn't as good of a event as we thought it was. Willie Lyons, Fire Department. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. These are our Spalding County representatives. These are our City of Griffin representatives. Sorry, try it again. Willie Lyons, Fire Department, Spalding County. Gunston Milner, not here, Fire Department, Spalding County. Richard Gray, Public Works, Spalding County. Big Randy King, Public Works, Spalding County. And Betty Browning in the Tax Assessor's Office. Okay, we're going to have to get some pictures, I'm sure. So y'all going to have to squeeze in. And Spalding County, please remember you got to give me your stuff back so I can give it to you again next week.
We have applications available for you on how to raise money.
While they're doing the pictures, I like to tell the folks in the crowd what our program is about. This started again 7 years ago with Mr. Smith talked about having a program that was basically where we could develop leaders within our ranks, a succession program, and we came up with this. These are folks volunteered to be in our program. And also we had our department directors identify potential key leaders. So here they are. It's again a succession plan at its very best.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your sacrifice of your time and energies to better yourselves. And to Tommy and Niles, thank you so much for what you've done. Look forward to it again next year. All right, as we start to clear house, next item is consider proclamation declaring November 15 to be National Hospice Palliative Care Month, and as requested by Homestead Hospice. Congratulations. Do we have a motion to approve the proclamation?
I'll move.
Mr. Morrow with a motion, with a second. Mr. McLemore. All in favor, signal by raise your hand. 7-0. Thank you. Okay. I guess we have a guest here, Mr. Steve Trawick. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Microphone.
This is strong.
All right, a proclamation honoring Homestead Hospice, National Hospice Palliative
Thank you.
Care Month. Whereas the word hospice stems from the Latin word hospitium, meaning guest house, and was originally used to describe a place of shelter for weary and sick travelers, a sanctuary. During the 1960s, Dr. Cicely Saunders, a British physician, began the modern hospice movement by establishing St. Christopher's Hospice near London. And the first hospice in the United States was established in New Haven, Connecticut in 1974. Today, there are more than 4,100 hospice programs in the United States, Puerto Rico, and Guam that figuratively and quite literally serve as sanctuaries for patients and their families during the end of life circumstances. And whereas hospice is not a place but rather a concept of care, 80% of hospice care is provided in patients' or family members' homes and in nursing care facilities. Hospice and palliative care programs, such as Homestead Hospice, provide patients and families with the highest quality of care during life-limiting illness and at the end of life through expert pain management, symptom control, emotional support, and spiritual care to patients and caregivers when a cure is not possible. And whereas every year more than 1.6 million Americans live with a serious life-limiting illness, and they, along with their families, receive support from hospice palliative care provider programs in communities throughout the United States. Hospice care is most effective for patients and families in the final months of life, when families can take full advantage of the range of services hospice provides. And whereas professional and compassionate hospice administrators and palliative care staff, both skilled and volunteer, including physicians, nurses, health aides, sitters, social workers, therapists, counselors, and spiritual care providers, offer comprehensive care that is focused on responsive to and supports the wishes of each individual patient and family, assuring dignity and quality of life. Whereas the medical community has recognized hospice programs such as that of Homestead Hospice as a subspecialty with an emerging group of healthcare providers who specialize in the end-of-life care, more than 355,000 trained volunteers are essential members of hospice care teams and contributed over 16 million hours of service to hospice programs last year. And whereas providing high-quality hospice and palliative care reaffirms our belief in the essential dignity of every person, regardless of age, health, or social status, and further that every stage of human life deserves to be treated with the utmost respect and care. And whereas local hospice and palliative care providers welcome all opportunities to be of service and encourage all people to learn more about the options of care available and to share their wishes with family, loved ones, and their healthcare professionals. Therefore, we, the Commissioners of the City of Griffin of the State of Georgia, do hereby proclaim November 2015 to be National Hospice Palliative Care Month in the City of Griffin and encourage all of our citizens to increase their understanding and awareness of care at the end of life. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Griffin to be affixed this 10th day of November in the year of our Lord 2015. Douglas S. Holberg, Chairperson, City of Griffin Board of Commissioners. Kenny Smith, City Manager.
Thank you. Like to make any comments, Steve?
I appreciate the council representing, recognizing Hospice and Palliative Care Month. It is an extremely important organization. We do need it in our nation, and I'm just proud that this, group recognizes that. Thank you very much for the proclamation.
Thank you for being here, Steve. Next item 4 is to recognize the City of Griffin Police Department and Mr. Eddie Bogan, Certification Manager, for obtaining the state recertification for the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police State Certification Commission. Police Chief Steve Heaton will address. Good evening, Chief. Good evening, Eddie.
Good evening, and thank you. This is a proud opportunity for us. I'm very, as you know, very proud of our police department anyway. In June of this year, we went through our reaccreditation or recertification process, which is comprised of a review of 129 state standards, which reviews our department for best police practices in our state. In doing some review today, I found out that currently there are 120 agencies in the state of Georgia that are state certified. When you consider that there's approximately 650 law enforcement agencies in the state, that's we represent roughly one agency of 18% of the agencies that are state certified. It's a voluntary program. We don't have to do it, but we choose to do it because we think that our police department is doing what it needs to do to provide the best service we can to our community. And this is one way we demonstrate that. The other thing that we do, and of course I'll be talking about, somebody will talk about that in the next couple of months, is our national accreditation or international accreditation. We went through that process in August, and this next week we will be going down to address the commission and hopefully bring back the international award, which once again is a voluntary program that allows people to come in from out of our state to review our police department and review 484 standards. So I'm very proud of the Griffin Police Department and the men and women of the police department, because without their support and participation and what they do every day, we would not be able to receive this award. And specifically, I'd like to thank Eddie Bogan, who has been both our accreditation manager and our state certification manager. And that's one of those thankless jobs in the police department. He's the one who reviews our policies, makes sure that we're complying with both state law and the best police practices. He is one of my closest advisors. He is involved in a lot of decisions in our police department because he is on that cutting edge of our policy. So thank you, Eddie, for your work. And if you'll allow me to read the plaque, it says, "The State of Georgia Law Enforcement Certification, be it hereby known that the Griffin Police Department has fully demonstrated its commitment to law enforcement excellence by meeting all of the applicable standards established by the State of Georgia Law Enforcement Certification Program. Therefore, upon recommendation of the Joint Review Committee of the State of Georgia Law Enforcement Certification Program, this agency is hereby recognized as a certified law enforcement agency for the period of August 1, 2015 through July 31st, 2018. Thank you.
Mr. Bogan, we appreciate your sacrifice and your service to our community. You're one of those that always do the 100+% every day, and we're proud to have you on board. Thank you.
Why, thank you, and this is our 5th award for state certification. And as the chief mentioned, next week we'll be going out to Miami to receive our 4th award for international accreditation.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Next item, it's always exciting when we get to recognize our young people, and today we're recognizing the winners of the 2015 6th grade Model Water Tower Competition. Joseph Johnson, the Deputy Director of the Water Wastewater Department of the Public Utilities Department, will address. Good evening and welcome. Good evening.
This year, the Water Department joined forces with the Griffin Spalding School System and various financial supporters to offer the first ever Model Water Tower Competition for our county, and the competition was held on October 28th at Rehoboth Middle School. I would like to note that without the support from Ms. Barbara King with the Griffin Spalding School System and the financial support from companies such as Burns McDonnell, Paragon Consulting Group, and Delta Municipal Supply, this competition would not have been made possible. The Model Tower Competition is held by the Georgia Association of Water Professionals and the Georgia section of American Water Works Association. The purpose of the Model Water Tower Competition is to provide information to young students about water resource engineering, infrastructure, water treatment, water conservation, and hopes that some will become future water professionals. This year, the competition was open to all 6th grade students across the district. The competition was presented to students at the beginning of the 2015 school year, and the towers that competed in the competition were results of trial and error approach. The students were allowed to work in teams or as individuals and had to perform the work during school hours. The materials used in construction of the towers were recycled materials either found at school or brought from home. Each school was allowed to submit 3 towers to compete on competition day, and the towers were judged on the following parameters: dimensions, materials, hydraulics, engineering design, imagination, and presentation. And I want to say that after talking to the students, it truly was amazing. The Griffin Spalding School System is doing a great job with training and teaching the young kids. The amount of enthusiasm that I saw reminded me of the reason why I got into engineering. So with that being said, I would like to honor and bring up the 3rd place team, Team Batman from Cowan Road. The members are Obed Ortiz and Nathan Master.
How big's the chef? Can we take us to dinner?
We basically what we did was we solicited some of the engineering firms and vendors that we used on a daily basis, and they stepped up really big this year. Basically, Burns McDonnell provided all the prize money for the students. We did offer an incentive, and it was amazing. All right, 2nd place team was Team Hubba Bubba, Diego Tello. And the first place team is Team Code Orange from Rehoboth Middle. Bailey champion, Noah Lashley, and David Williams.
Thank you very much for your participation. Hopefully this will become an annual tradition that we get to recognize future engineers that'll serve not only our community but serve this nation. Moving forward to the view financials for September 2015, Chief Financial Officer Marcus Schwab will address. Good evening, Mr. Schwab.
Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
All right, we're 3 months into the fiscal year, so we'll review cash. If you have any questions about the cash report. Okay.
Can't say I like the 7 million that's in the airport fund.
Oh, don't worry, they've got plans for that.
It was zero.
That's a fleeting thought. All right, the other item on, the next item is the local option sales tax. And obviously, we're not gonna have any SPLOST until the following year,
Will that happen, will they start collecting
April.
January 1 or April 1? April 1.
Well, I think it's encouraging, again, this month when SPLOST is up and it's the highest of the 3 years running here, so.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
The loss, yeah, the loss is.
We're definitely not lost.
And while we're on SPLOST, I want to make a comment because
Yes, sir.
Daoud there chaired the SPLOST committee and we passed it resoundingly, and I think a great deal of that was to his leadership and vision and work, so we owe you a great deal of gratitude, Daoud, for what you did in doing that. Well done.
All right, moving on to the interim statements. Any questions about the revenue or expenses?
Having reviewed the revenue, and I know last budget year we talked about looking at where we were in terms of gas prices, where we were in terms of overall revenue versus expenses, and I think at that time we would look at the potential of compensating our employees with a bonus approximately for Christmas time. So if there's no objection from this board, I'd like for the staff to come up with a recommendation to bring to us in 2 weeks for a potential end of this calendar year. Opportunity to thank the employees for the hard work and the dedication and what they do for citizens of Griffin.
Well, we'll do our best to research that. Just want to point out that while the numbers show great efficiencies, we are on what's called a modified accrual basis. What does that mean? That means that wherever possible, we book entries for the month in which they belong, regardless of when we pay them. In a lot of instances, it's based on when we actually cut the check. Looking at payroll and the benefits section, that's one of those that lends itself to an accrual process, which is difficult to manage every month because of the closing cycle. So I want to just add a little caution to the numbers because September it has a middle payroll that needs to be added. There's additional dollars. Our payroll is roughly $750,000 every 2 weeks. So to put it in perspective, that includes benefits. We'll come back with a proposal.
I'd like to see something that we could say thank you. It's like many of the departments are down in personnel.
Yes, sir.
Cost of gas has remained below budget.
Yes, sir.
There should be something that we could say thank you to the employees for what they've done for this past year
Okay.
and years past.
We'll definitely look at some options.
Any other questions?
They're very boring, just the way we like them.
Thank you.
No excitement and things are doing very well.
Appreciate
Yes,
this
sir.
too.
Okay. Oh, yes, I forgot to mention, I did drop on your desks there the quarterly status report. One word of caution, though, if you look at the aggregate number, it looks like that it's projecting a shortfall, but that's predominantly tied to the reduction in the amount of money that we're anticipating having to draw from electric. So we're showing a little bit less than budget coming in, but that may be subject to change depending on revenues and cash needs. But for now, we're showing a slightly less than budgeted amount coming into a general fund from the electric. So that could be a good news situation.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you for your service, Marcus.
Thank you.
Moving into citizen comments. At this time, the chairperson opens the floor to comments from the audience. Comments should relate to a specific agenda item not listed on the agenda for the public hearing or to concern within the jurisdiction of the city commission. Meetings for the city commission meetings serve for the purpose of conducting city business and are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinion. The chairperson reserves the right to limit comments to matters germane to city business and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff for resolution. With that being said, is there anybody on my left side that would like to come before the podium? Anybody on my left side? Anybody on my right side like to come before the commission? Moving on. Next item is consent. There are no public hearings tonight. Moving into consent agenda.
Chairman, I believe we'll take these separately because there was a no vote on number 8, so I move that we approve the minutes of the workshop and the meeting as of October 27th as presented, unless anyone has corrections.
We have a motion from Mr. Marr. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. McLemore. Any discussion or changes? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Item 8, we consider adoption of the second reading of the ordinance amending the City of Griffin Code at Chapter 58, offenses and miscellaneous provisions by enacting a new section 5813, aggressive panhandling, defines such conduct, declaring each conduct to be offense against the city and providing the sanctions thereof. Do we have a motion to approve?
I move we approve.
Motion from Mr. Marr. Do we have a second? Second by Ms. Ward. Are there any comments or discussion? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. All against, like sign. 6-1 with Ms. Flowers voting against. Moving to the regular agenda, consider approval of the holiday schedule for calendar year 2016. Director of Human Resources, Miles Neville will address. Have a motion from Mr. McCord. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Morrow. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Item 10, request approval to retire Police K-9 Freddie and allow the handler, DPD Officer Tolan, to retain personal ownership.
I see Freddie.
Good evening. Welcome, Chief.
We decided to bring Freddie in.
Awesome.
Freddie has been with us for a long time. And Freddie is one of our canine officers, obviously. With canines, we have a short span of life with them in terms of work life. He is 8 years old. 8.5 years old, and we've had him for 6. We value the canine program because it's a valuable tool for our police department. Our dogs are dual purpose. That means that they can apprehend and they can track. So we use them for a variety of different things. They are also trained in handler protection and narcotics detection. But Freddie has been used to find lost folks. He has been used to track folks who have committed crimes. And he's getting old, so it's time for him to retire. And as with most canine programs, what we like to do is that we realize that they're police property, but we would like them to go back to their handler because they have a bond, and that we know that Colt and his family will take care of Freddie, and he'll have a good retired life. So, with your approval, we're going to do that.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Todd, second. Mr. McLemore, any questions or comments?
Freddie doesn't object, does he?
I think Freddie's happy. He's retired. All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 7-0. And thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Next ready to be running for city commission.
Come on.
Like us other retirees.
Item 11, appoint a city law enforcement representative to the Spalding County Collaborative for Families with Children to fill the vacancy created by Lieutenant Morris Pike's retirement. The unexpired term of Lieutenant Pike is set to expire December 31, 2015, and I understand that we had a recommendation of Lieutenant Mike Richardson. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I realize it's for a short time, but the collaborative wanted an appointee even for this short time, so.
Outstanding.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
I said I realize it's for a short time because it expires December 31st, but I assume we'll reappoint Lieutenant Richardson in January, so they wanted him to go ahead and start
We need a
serving.
motion to,
Do we have a motion to approve the appointment of Lieutenant Richardson?
so moved.
Mr. Morrow with a motion, do we have a second? Ms. Ward with a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Item 12, consider approval of resolution and budget amendment to amend the city fiscal year 2016 operating capital budget in the amount of $4,870 in the electric utility fund for the purchase of portable meter testing system. We approve the transfer of cash in the amount of $4,870 to electric operations cash account from scrap metal sales cash account. Do we have a motion to approve? Ms. Ward with a motion. Do we have a second? Second by Ms. Flowers. Any questions or comments? All in favor, signal by raising your hand.
This should save a lot of time and motion to just do it on the
You
job.
read,
I'm
read
amazed
right
we
between
don't
the
have
lines, that's why I came up, just to tell you this allows us to do field testing now, we don't have to pull the meter, we don't have to take it in, we don't have to replace the meter. We can actually test it right there with the customer, and it actually has a printer, and we can print the test results right then and there. And this goes in hand with some neat stuff out there, and bring it to you in the future on some change of procedure and tech services.
Thank you, Bill. And item 13, consider the adoption of resolution for the fiscal year 2016 application for the Georgia Department of Transportation REBC grant for roadside enhancement and beautification. Director of Public Utilities, Dr.
Chairman,
Frank Keller.
I move we approve the grant, and this is one we should have done last year, glad to do it.
That motion, Mr. Morrow, second by Mr. McCord. Any questions or comments? All in favor, signal by raising hand. 7-0. Item 14, consider approval of the Griffin Spalding County Hospital Authority grant monies to be received for Spalding County Board of Health flu shots in the amount of $15,000 and Spalding County Senior Nutrition Meals on Wheels in the amount of $35,000. We have a motion by Ms. Todd, second by Mr. McCord. Any questions or comments? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Item 15, consider lease agreement between Life Radio Ministries, Inc. and the City of Griffin for 2345 rentable square feet of space, the first floor on the 1 Griffin Center, 100 South Hill Street. Do we have a motion to approve?
I move we approve the lease.
Mr. Morrow made a motion. Do we have a second? Second by Ms. Ward. Any questions or comments? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Item 16, while the IRS and the SEC do not regulate municipal issuers of tax-exempt bonds directly, both are urging users to adopt a written post-issuance compliance policy. This was discussed with the city's bond council at the time of the city's last issuance, but no policies were adopted. This resolution adopts policies recommended by the bond council, Jim Fennell of Gray Fennell and Woodward. Under these policies, the city's finance director is designated as the post-issuance compliance officer, and basic duties and responsibilities are outlined. City Attorney Drew Whalen will address.
Move we approve.
We have a motion from Mr. Morrow. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. McLemore. And Marcus, will he have additional liability insurance put upon yourself to cover you?
Yes. I would like to request a copy of this policy that the finance officer now becomes privy and responsible for. The finance director needs to have that before or after. You know, that would be nice to
I was
have
gonna
that.
make sure you had
No, point of order,
a general
ladies
liability
and gentlemen.
policy to cover the extent of whatever your
No,
liability.
please, ladies and gentlemen, this needs to be beforehand before these things are adopted so that the finance officer has an opportunity to review such documents. Thank you.
Mr. Smith, Is it okay for us to proceed, or would you like us to table this?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, signal by raising your hand.
Marcus?
You wanna deny, any any action, Marcus? I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you at all.
Does that mean? Oh, we can always receive it. You're a finance person. What's your opinion? Listen,
Would you sign something you haven't read?
If my attorney told me we needed,
He's an attorney.
I don't either. Marcus, I assume you're stuck. How's that for an official statement?
Well, I work for the city manager, and that is my job, and if I'm told to do something, obviously I will follow along. However, I feel more comfortable knowing that I can voice my concerns and be heard and acknowledged, and then we'll follow due process at some point.
Do you feel better now that you've voiced your...
I do. Thank you.
And it's part of the record, so, the culpability will be discussed.
It's on tape, and it's recorded like that. There you go. Thank you.
Excellent.
And the real scary part of this is you may ask for another raise.
Oh, that won't happen.
She is wide.
Okay, we have motion, Mr. Morrow, a second by Mr. McCord, I believe. Is that right? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. McLemore.
McLemore, second.
Seconded. All in favor, signal by raising your hand. All against, like sign. So, 6-1 again with this violence. Man, she gets reelected and she becomes a rebel. You're a rebel, there you go. Item 17, consider denial of claim reporting of the anti-lien notice, item notice pursuant to OCGA section 36335 in a letter directed by City Manager Penny Smith dated October 27/15 for Sanchez, Hayes, and Associates LLC on behalf of the Avery, Allen, and Derek Wilder claim alleges damages from derogatory press releases issued by Griffin Police Department on or about April 28, 2015. I understand we have one potential conflict of interest, Mr. McLemore, so do I need to abstain?
Let me, I know this is not up for discussion, I guess. We can't discuss, I read what was in the paper and then I read this, and it seems like there's a lot of conflict.
Well, I try not to read the paper, so I'll be.
Wow.
If you look at the agenda summary, I think we set it out there. This is something anti-litem notice that came in, and honestly, I think it's too late. I think it's filed 2 days too late.
When you say claims to be, you did file it too late, or?
It was received on the 30th, came by 35 mail. Statute provides to Chairman Holmberg, his copies of the city along with similar copies of the city manager on the 30th of October. 6 months from the date of the occurrence, it was the 28th of October.
If I understand the denial of the annual item, it's part of the legal process to allow it to go forward.
It is, because until he gives a proper annual item notice, he's been barred. He gets filing the suit, the court does not require subject matter jurisdiction.
So he has to file, and we have to deny, and then it can move forward.
Right.
It's part of the process.
Do we have a motion to approve the denial?
Approve the denial.
Mr. Morrow with a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Todd. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signal by raising your hand. 5, any against, like sign? Who wants to abstain? Okay. We have 2.
You've abstained, right, Ronnie?
So we've got 5.
Huh?
Both work for the school board.
Oh.
So we got a 5-0-2 abstention, Mr. McCord and Mr. McLemore. Item 18, consider approval of property lease agreement with the City of Griffin, with the Griffin Spalding County Airport Authority for the Triangle, 150 square feet parcel for sign placement.
Mr. Chairman, let me explain real quickly. This is a shout out to Robert Mole. As you know, when we discovered from the latest survey that little triangle across the road was actually part of airport property, we were notified we needed to pay rent on that for the sign or purchase it. That was prohibitively expensive to purchase it, that little triangle, and we voted to move the sign. Practically so, I believe. However, thanks to Robert, when he was at the Georgia Aviation Association meetings, he did a little networking, and we got a different ruling from GDOT and the FAA that all we really had to lease was the actual footage there with a sign set, which is minuscule. We didn't have to lease the whole triangle, and that's what, 24, how much is it, 2430? $2340 entire year lease, which makes it a good deal now. And I move we approve, and I thank Robert for his networking.
Got a motion from Mr. Marr. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Ms. Todd. Any comments or questions? All in favor for the $23.40 annual lease payment, please raise your hand.
And Robert did do
All
a good
against?
job this year.
7-0.
And,
Okay.
and by the way, on a related matter, our survey is hopefully nearing done on the golf course property that's on the airport, and that allows the rest of the process to move. So it's in the works.
She does not want me to change my mind.
Pass it over to Dick. And then I'll get it.
Okay. That concludes the business meeting. At this time, City Manager's report.
Yes, sir, just a reminder that Citizens Government Academy graduation is next Thursday night
19th.
at 6:30 at the Welcome Center, so we'll look for you there. The Police Department's having an appreciation luncheon on Monday, for Chief Heaton. This is Chief Heaton's last official meeting with us here in Griffin, and the 21st is his last day here, so we appreciate everything that Chief Heaton has done for our department in the time that he's been here. We wish him well in his new endeavors, and at 1 o'clock Monday at the Welcome Center, we'd like for you to stop by and show your appreciation to Chief Heaton. Today, an announcement came out from MEAG. As you know, the MEAG CEO, Bob Johnston, is retiring at the end of the year, and today they named Mr. Fuller, who has been the Chief Financial Officer and Senior Vice President of MEAG, Jim Fuller, to that post to be effective January the 1st. So we'll get that announcement out locally as well to our local media. I want to thank Joseph. I think Joseph's already gone, but Brant and Joseph on this water tower competition, and watching Joseph work with those kids, I think he had more fun and was more excited than some of the kids were in this project. But this has really been a phenomenal project, and the school system has worked with us well. And I was hoping they were going to actually have some of the water towers here for you to see. Do we have those, or are they at the school, or what? At the school?
We met with, Griffin, and we're actually implementing a program with them on the center program. We paid for the students, through the grade level, so it actually was, the water department participation. We're considering maybe adopting a school as a model school in the center program.
But it was a great project, and I wish you could have seen some of those towers that the kids actually built. I mean, operating water towers that they actually built, so it was.
I heard Joseph say, some of the questions that came out of sixth graders was phenomenal. I mean, we're talking about hydrodynamics and all this from sixth graders, really? I mean, it was pretty cool.
And that's, a lot of things like that the city's involved in that people don't really realize, but Joseph did a great job and his staff with that program. We're gonna get a quick picture if y'all won't run off right after the meeting, and, I believe that's it for right now.
Mr. Whalen? Mr. McCoy? Mr. McLemore?
Congratulate the three of us, congratulations to Doug and Cora and of course, Commissioner-elect.
again, yeah, I agree. Congratulations to all three of the commissioners, and look forward to working with all three. Don't forget, tomorrow at 4 o'clock at Memorial Park is our Veteran Day program. It's about an hour. We'd certainly like to have you all here, all there with us. We appreciate that. And I want to thank all the veterans for their service. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Ms. Todd?
No comment.
Ms. Flowers?
I still have a comment. So the Athletic Hall of Fame had their open house this afternoon, right before the meeting, and they gave us a certificate of appreciation to the city of Griffin for our ongoing support. They gave it to me because I was the only person there. I didn't ask for it.
They invited us. I guess she was the only athlete.
We were invited.
They did, they said that we could leave it there if we'd like to, so I'm gonna take it back tomorrow, but I brought it so y'all could see it tonight. So, okay, and it was nice, it was a nice turnout, and it looked really nice inside, so, good deal. That's it.
Just again, want to thank the veterans for their sacrifices to give us our freedom. I will be AWOL from the meeting on October 24th, so celebration that you'll want to put up with me. I'm taking my family on a vacation to New York City for that week, so excited about getting away. And November.
And Doug,
November 24th.
and Doug, I won't be here either because I'm going to Disney World.
So with that being said, Mr. Smith would like us to consider canceling the workshop for that morning and moving it to the first meeting, the only meeting in December, if that's okay, for 9 o'clock. If that goes okay with y'all?
Yeah,
And,
okay with
and
me.
move forward?
Yeah.
That,
I'll be
Yeah, I
on
mean,
board.
we've got some pretty important stuff to discuss before the end of the year, and if we're gonna be missing some people that Thanksgiving week, I think it would be better served to do it at the only meeting in December, if that works with y'all's schedule.
is that all right with you, Mark? Who's the most powerful man in Griffin? And it is the man behind the pit.
That was a good one.
But thank you so much for everyone's efforts on the SPLOST. I was talking to Diode today and folks at the chamber, and we keep having victory after victory, whether it's College and Career Academy, the eSPLOST, the Archway program, and the next area that we need to all jump on board is the amphitheater project. So I've challenged the Chamber of Commerce. This is the next big thing that we need to handle for this community to keep moving in a positive direction. And so I'm told Diode that we'd be 100% behind the DDA's effort and Main Street program as we work forward to that. So again, thank you, everybody. I won't see most of you, so happy Thanksgiving until we meet again. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Ms. Ward has a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Todd. All in favor, please rise.
Rob.
Take your time.